It
Cool.
looks like, oh my goodness, we got getting the chats are already going. Can you see the
Yeah, I
chats over there?
right there. I'm just
Awesome. Woohoo.
only 100 degrees here in Sacramento. I think it's like 104 here in LA. I haven't checked, but it's
Oh
damn.
my
Yeah,
God. Oh my
really
God.
hot.
Well, hello to all of you, and
Yeah,
hello
yeah,
to my bestie buddy in the whole wide world, the incredible Chuck Dransfield. You're out
yeah.
there
Uh,
surviving in beautiful Los Angeles, California.
yeah, here in Las Feliz. Las Feliz, just
Uh,
you.
you li- you
What?
live in the most amazing part of the world.
I think I do too. It's one of the few neighborhoods in the world where you've got middle class, you got rich, and you got movie stars.
That's right.
Angelina
Absolutely.
Jolie lives about 5 minutes down the road from me.
Who does?
Angelina Jolie, she
Oh,
lives
lovely.
in the Mill Mansion. But it's almost surrealistic, this neighborhood. I don't know of anything else like it in the whole world.
Mm.
Being here, it's one of my favorite places just to go walking every day.
Well, I know when I lived there, I had the most amazing physician's assistant. His name was Chuck.
Yeah, love
He was
that.
an actor. He could do it all. Anyway, so this is Taco Tuesdays. Welcome to all of you. Tell us where you're coming from, what you eating, what you drinking. I'm here
Yeah,
having a
we want to
great
hear
cup
from
of
you,
coffee.
everybody. I just want to say I had the best time with you last week. That was my first time ever going live with any kind of show like this. So now
Oh,
the
wow.
time, but it was like a party. Whimsy and I used to work together many years ago, and we used to get chided all the time from our bosses for talking too much. Now we can just talk all we want. Nobody's going to stop.
We get to
Yeah,
hang out. It's
get to
cool.
hang out. That's what it feels like.
So talk to me a little bit about what's going on right now, where you're at. Are you okay? We're going to probably have to deal with the upcoming news stories, but
Yeah,
just
we are.
brief, yeah, because of everything going on with Trump. But since everything is up in the air right now with Taco Tuesdays, actually, let's go ahead and do some greetings first, and then we'll do that. Give a shout out first to Melody Harmon. Good to see you here. Hi, Melody. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, and Dylan. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see Joel Tilson. He helps. Joel Tilson's walking the floor, making sure everybody's questions get seen. And of course, the amazing Chuck. He has much better eyes than I do, so he's going to be taking the questions for you all today.
I'm going to try my
Joel
here.
Tilson. You're going to get to know Joel real well in the coming years, Chuck. Hopefully, if
Okay.
you both stick
This
around.
is all new to me. This is kind of like rubbing my head and patting my stomach, talking to you and looking over here at the questions at the same time. But I'll get the hang of it real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Fran Drescher, everybody is so impressed
Yeah.
with how she conducted herself. Do tell. You are a member of the Screen Actors Guild.
Yes, I
Give
am.
us the lowdown on the protest, what she said about the state of labor all
Well,
over the
she
world,
was talking
right?
about how the business model just has to be changed. We're sticking to an old system where television series would run for as long as 10 years. You would have a season of 24 episodes, a minimum, sometimes more, a little less than that. And so revenue was based upon that distribution of that revenue to actors, writers, other people. That was what it was based on. Now we're in a world of streaming. It's changed. And this is what Fran was talking about in the last 2 days.
Right.
In the world of streaming, it's rare that a show will last more than, say, 1 to maybe 3 or 4 seasons. And also, a season typically is going to be about 6 to 10 episodes, much shorter seasons. It's not based upon the old way of ratings and longevity. It's based upon subscribers. And
Hmm.
Fran feels that the money from subscriptions from streaming services needs to be more fairly dispersed. Right now, it's the big CEOs of the companies that are raking in all the millions and millions, while we've got actors and writers who can barely pay their rents, their mortgages, put food on the table, do
Right.
a
Yeah.
living wage.
Well, it's definitely something we'll talk about more today. I would be remiss not to go to the main story. It looks like the
Exactly.
breaking news is coming out that President Trump received a target letter. The special counsel Jack Smith sent him a target letter that he's a person of interest and he's probably facing indictment over his involvement with
Well,
January the January.
Yeah.
What do you think about all that?
And I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, I just wanted your feedback on it. I'm gonna take
well, usually when a lawyer sends a letter, special interest, that's something nobody wants to get. That's pretty bad. It's not looking good for him right now. I mean, it's just astounding to me. Let's see, he had what, the 34 count indictment in Manhattan? What was it, a month, 2 months ago? Last month, 37 charges. This is his second target letter from Jack Smith. It's just astounding to me personally how this is all building and building. How much longer before this breaks?
So yeah, now you say it was the second target letter. Can you?
Yes.
I'm just looking at the AP report.
Yeah, let me see here. Second target letter from Special Counsel Jack Smith. I guess the first one being for the charges in Florida.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that would have been the first one.
Well, I mean, how much longer do you think this is going to go on? I mean, what's your?
So many charges, and how long can Trump keep extending this out? Because we know that's been his game, to get his lawyers to extend this out as far as he can. He obviously wants to keep this going until after the presidential elections. And
right.
Then, who knows? I mean, if it's fair for me to say this, if he can pardon himself, or if there's a way he can, I don't know what he can do, but I think that's his belief. He wants to keep this prolonged, but how long can he prolong it when these indictments just keep piling on top of each other? And these are serious indictments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we should do is the impasse prayer, unless there's anything else you want to say, and then take a look at the questions. I know there's a bunch of questions from everybody in the audience. We're so glad you could join us. Do you want me to do the impasse prayer?
Yes, please. Let's do this.
And,
see what we have here. I see Joanna Carson said it's 108 in Dallas today.
108 in Dallas.
108.
Wow. So what's the air condition? I hope they don't have their air condishing breaking down.
Well, especially with the power grid there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just, I've been reading all over the country about the heat wave, and of course, that Europe is being hit. Italy, I hope I'm correct in saying this, but I think it got up to 122 degrees in Sardinia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some of they said on the news just a little while ago that during the last 14 days, we have had some of the highest temperatures ever recorded in history, one after the other. But
wait a minute, wasn't there someplace in the United States that was like 130? Was it Texas?
Death Valley.
Was it Arizona? Was it Death Valley, really?
Death Valley. I think Death Valley is also the site of the highest recorded temperature ever. I think that was, again, I'm paraphrasing this a little, but I think it was like 132 degrees.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's right. That's because Death Valley is so below sea level. It's one of the deepest spots in Northern America.
I have total faith in this president. I mean, I had a lot of stress about my student loans, and
I am so happy for you, Whimsy. I'm thrilled for you.
I didn't even know I was part of a class action. Do you know that there were class action lawsuits?
I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't.
Navion, Sally Mae. And so what they did was they gave people an extra 3 years of forgiveness that were in good standing. And then they did a bunch of other things. They made something like, and a couple of other calculations. I think it was like age, etc. But
well, I remember much.
Yeah, and I told you I was told to pray to the aliens to have.
Yes.
Bleslow, Bleslow, the guy that he prays and aliens show up and float around. They're the gray species, and they give him whatever he wants, and he says, you just got to pray to them. They're angels. They're higher beings. They just want you to be happy. They're keepers of the earth. So I said to my friend, Joel, I said, well, then go ahead and take away my student loans. That was on Tuesday. Thursday morning, I had a letter telling me that 360 something $1,000 had been erased. I've been back every day to the Department of Education to try it because I think I'm going to wake up from this.
You thought it was too good to be true, like you were going to wake up the next morning and it was going to be a dream or something. But you've been checking, and darling, you're free, and you deserve it. You deserve this as much as any person I know in my life.
Oh, thank you. Well, this coming in from the director, Debbie says, after recent ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court denying President Biden's plan to provide some debt relief to most student loan borrowers, they issued an executive order on June 20th, 2023, eliminating debt for over 800,000 individuals.
Yeah.
And because of those court cases, I evidently was one of those people. And yeah, class of 2008 was one, I guess, were victims of this scam. I did not owe 360,000. I owed like a lot less, evidently.
A lot less, but
yeah,
they say to me that you just were living your life like this debt did not exist.
Because I couldn't fathom it. It was you know. And then I heard in the grapevine that people were suing. And then I guess there was such a discrepancy between what I really should have. They blew up and everything else. And so, yeah. So I have no debt. I have no debt and I have no land. But that's okay because I'm a gypsy.
You wouldn't be happy with land. It would burden you down.
That's probably true. Okay, let's do the empath's prayer, and then we will get the order, and then we will blitz away. Does that work for you?
That works just great for me.
All right, and Chuck is your guy. He has much better eyes than me. You saw me struggle.
I have better eyes.
He is going to work closely with Joel and everybody else to make sure people's questions get answered.
This is new to me, but.
Just let me do the empath's prayer first.
Okay, let's do the empath's prayer.
All right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen. Amen. All right. So, if there's no questions, we can keep talking.
Well, let me see here. I'm looking to see if there are any questions.
Or comments that you think are interesting.
Well, just a lot of really great greetings from people here. We have wonderful people in this audience. Let's see here. Whimsy, it looks like a burden was taken off your back. Whimsy,
maybe that's why I look young.
Free. Good news. Texas is leading the way on solar energy farms. I think that's fantastic.
I told you guys that Texas would be transformed. We got the order to blitz away, and Dylan.
Scrolling. A lot of people.
And Claudia Veras as well.
Blitz away, and Dylan just said. Tucson, 112 today. Yikes.
Whoa. Are you afraid? I mean, let's go ahead and have that be our first blitz. Is there any way for us to, chat overlay. Let's see what chat overlay is. Chat overlay. Okay.
I have a question here for you. Do you want it, or do you want to focus on the first thing?
What's the question?
The question is, will Thomas resign from the Supreme Court?
Okay, so add to the block list restream. What does that mean? Did I just do it? New comments display here.
It says here, oops, something went wrong. Try reloading the page. What does that mean? Can you guys?
Okay, I think that's not going to work. I'm trying to see I just thought it would be cool to be able to.
Hey, this is live, folks.
It says that my Microsoft Outlook is updating right now. That's probably not a good thing,
wonderful.
Right? All right. So what's the first question? Is Thomas going to resign?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look. I'll do this, and then you can do your.
Supreme Court. You want me to tell you what I'm getting?
Give me a sec, but yeah, eventually.
I'm getting a strong no.
Oh, you're getting that he. Oh,
Well,
see,
I'm getting this that from Thomas himself. Will he resign? I'm getting a strong no. Now, that's not to say he won't be forced out, but I'm getting he's not going to resign willingly. Now, I know
oh,
what your cards are going to say, but I'm getting a strong no. See, it's going back and forth.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So,
think you're right. I think he's going to be forced out. He
yeah,
engaged in foolish behavior, but his opposition is celebrating. I'm doing a blitz.
yeah.
And the courts, the issue of the courts, look at this. He's leaving, an 8 of Cups. So basically, they're saying that his foolish behavior, he's forced out of the cup. He's forced out of the courts, and his opposition rejoices.
Yeah. But I tell you,
So,
that this was so strong. It's like he's going to be pulled out. He's going to be dragged out. He's not going to go willingly.
don't you think he also has some health issues? I always get like health issues with him.
You know, I'm not sure about that. You probably know better than I. I know that he.
Yeah,
Look at how old he is. He's in
70 something.
70 something. Yeah.
Hmm. They're building a case against him.
I believe that. I think that's been going on for
The
quite some time.
courts, look at this courts. It's a crisis in the courts. We got to clean up our courts. And the only way we can clean up our courts is by dealing with the whole dark money issue, and that's kind of what's going on now with Trump and the Target letter. Right? We can talk about Trump and the Target letter if people want to.
Yeah.
I think that when Trump asked, am I the only one that got a Target letter?
Oh, whimsy. Joel just said that Thomas has type 2 diabetes and heart issues.
Yeah, that's what I feel. While you can see it as a doctor, like you can see certain things.
I have a
Um,
question
yeah,
for you.
yeah, go
So I
ahead.
go ahead. Could you please comment on RFK Jr.'s candidacy for the presidency?
Well, I don't think he stands a chance. I mean, we can go ahead and throw on it. He's made some very anti-Semitic statements that I think that's very
I see
disturbing.
him as a real challenger to Biden.
I
Myself.
don't think so. I think he's, but let's take a look at the future of when he made statements that COVID was engineered so that Jews and Chinese people couldn't catch it. It's
Okay.
like, come on, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, there's no such thing as a genetic Jew, so that's not even
I
scientifically
also see
possible.
from Debbie that Justice Thomas turned 75 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I knew he was in his 70s, I
Yeah.
figured. Okay. Let's see. What are we looking at? RFK's future. Is he still dating that woman? That
The
Hines,
from,
Sherry Hines?
what's the TV show with Larry David?
Yeah.
I can't think of her name. Now, what is the question we should ask specifically? Do you want me to do this with the pendulum also?
Oh, what are his chances of winning the presidency, or what would be the impact of him running?
Presidency. I'm getting, it's just no. That's what I'm getting. And that's based on right now in this moment when I ask this question, based on present circumstances.
It bothers me a lot. It bothers me for a number of reasons. I mean, we're a democracy, so we should not have dynasties like, well,
Right.
you should vote for me because my dad was Robert Kennedy. That's just not an American
No, of course
concept.
not. There's no substance to that
Yeah.
whatsoever. Oh, and also he's married to Cheryl Hines. Thank you, Julie, for that. I have somebody asking us, what about Citizens United future?
Okay. That sounds like I wish I knew how to pin from here. They don't have that option, unfortunately. Okay, let's see. The future of Citizens United. Chuck missed a question.
Question? What?
Yeah, they said you missed a question.
Let me see here. Will DeSantis get close to the presidency? I don't know if I even need my pendulum for that, but We'll just have to get close.
Oh God, people hate him.
I mean, I'm just kidding. No. Oh no. No. I mean, you saw where he already had to cut a large portion of his staff. The man is drowning. He's sinking. But Whimsy, what do you think?
Oh, I think that there's some. They keep. You know what he reminds me of? His campaign is like Putin's campaign in Ukraine. They keep pouring more and more money in, thinking eventually they'll be successful. But all they're doing is just burning up equipment.
No.
Over and over again, I see DeSantis facing criminal charges. It's this constant. Look at that 901s.
Wow.
The jailer. You know, the good times roll is a three of cups, but then bammo. And then look at all this money they want to infuse into his campaign. But it's interesting that the money cards are in the eighth house. His opposition, the Democrats, have more money than the Republicans because the Republicans were getting their money not from Americans, but from people overseas. The American people themselves don't like the NRA. It was fueled by Russia. So a lot of these conservative campaigns are getting fueled by foreign money. But you have here justice denied, and then a case of evidence against him. And then Archangel Michael is associated with the sword of truth, the page of swords, and temperance. I think in time he could be facing some kind of criminal charges. And I think it goes back to shady business dealings out of Florida is the first thing I think he's under investigation for.
Yeah.
Like people have been buying him things like plane tickets, and then the issue of the border as well.
Yeah, I'm looking here. A comment doesn't take a psychic for DeSantis questions. But let's see. Here's a good one. Will Kamala Harris be the president interim?
Interim? No. We want Biden to be there for 4 years. Yeah, you mean after Biden?
Well, this is just the question from Julia. Will Kamala Harris be the president interim? So,
in time or in the next term?
She didn't. Well, Julie, how did you mean the question? That's all I have here.
Let's just ask if.
I guess it would be under any circumstances. Like, could something happen to Joe Biden? Could there be a reason she would have to?
Yeah, that's what I. Okay, let's find out. Let's see. I don't want to think like that.
Hey, I just see here City Girl Fro. I am loving the Chuck and Whimsy show. Thank you.
We love it too. We're just friends. We decided to do this because we love hanging out. We got into, when he was working with me, oh my God, we got into so much trouble because all we did was laugh and have fun.
Yes, we did. Hey, folks, we're the real deal. We love each other.
Yeah, we do. We have a good time together.
Yeah, we do.
What was I pulling on? I'm sorry. That she. You know what? I always get. You know what? This is something interesting. I always get with Vice President Harris. What a great woman. She really would rather be on the Supreme Court. She feels very restricted. Look at how restricted she always gets restricted as the VP.
Well, the VP, her job is to be support for Biden. She basically has to be Ed McMahon to Johnny Carson.
Cut me and you. Only exactly. Right now you're the lead, but she's not free to express her own viewpoints. She has to be in concert with Joe Biden, and so I could see where she would feel restricted by the vice presidency. The emperor. So she's restricted by the president, which is the emperor, the hope and fears, mercy, her own health and well-being. Yeah. She feels that she's defending something. The current president has mastery over him. The emperor and the president are the same card. Right. Mastery over him. He's so damn good. I do. Honestly, I don't see that. I see her depressed and wanting to go back into. She's a prosecutor. She belongs in the DOJ or she belongs on the Supreme Court. I see her depressed. She doesn't want this. So, do you feel she doesn't even want the presidency? If I may ask that. She would be very good. She would be. But. Well, maybe the presidency, but See, this is not, I get this grief. And then look at this. This is not someone happy on this tract. This is someone who feels restricted and defensive.
Okay.
But what she's doing is she's creating the stability necessary for all this work to get done. Look at the mastery over the presidency. This is the master's card. This is the president's card.
So the question
She creates the environment. This is compassion and service, and this is social justice, by the way. It's also social workers card, destiny. So she by just getting all that crap out of Joe's way, all of the little things, a lot of stuff is being accomplished by Biden because of her work, because she's the one that's doing the little pet nursery and stuff, like the little things that he doesn't have time for that.
Yeah. But I do have someone here asking well, first of all, we still need to ask the question about Citizens United that was brought up. But someone's asking, is Biden going to pass away soon? Or is there a possibility?
No, it didn't say anything like him passing away. It showed him in a state of mastery. The Eight of Pentacles, these are cards of Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. These are cards of wealth and mastery. But, oh my God, my eyesight.
I do have another question here.
He pounds away until it is perfect. That's the meaning of the Eight of Pentacles.
I have a question here, Joanna Carson. Once Biden becomes a lame duck, he may retire and hand it over to her. Do you see any kind of scenario like that? Okay.
It showed grief and unhappiness in terms of what she wanted for her future. And when I look at what she wanted what Justice Jackson has. You know, it was like, hey, you got a sweet deal. You know, like Biden just appointed his first Supreme Court judge, right? I think that.
Yes.
Kanji Jackson, right? So, you know, when I put myself in her shoes as an empath, it's like, happy for you. But it's kind of like, I feel her restriction. And you can see those cards. I feel this. I cannot
honestly
move.
Also, and I've noticed her visibility has been a lot less in the last few months, and I don't even know what that's about.
Well, she's been doing actually a lot of rallies and things.
Yeah, that I know. That I
policies. Yeah,
but
it's
far more visible in the beginning of her vice presidency. But it has been brought up by Alice that we did not answer the question about Citizens United. I think we left that one hanging.
All right, you want to go ahead and check yes, no, if it'll be overthrown, and I'll do a update.
United be overthrown. The Citizens United. I don't know why I'm keep getting no's today, but I'm getting another no. Let's see what you get.
They don't have to.
They don't have to.
No, because the solution is sanitation, and also they shut down. You know, look what happened with the boats, the mega yachts that they all hauled away. How many billions of dollars have been confiscated? We did a remote view a couple days ago. I think it was on Sunday, and it looked like the feds had confiscated so many Bitcoin accounts, and they don't even know who these accounts belong to. So they're sitting on millions and millions and millions of dollars of abandoned Bitcoin from drug dealers and stuff.
That sounds like something that could collapse.
Yes. I mean, the next thing you have to ask yourself is, if the feds are just going in and finding tons and tons of accounts that have been abandoned and shutting them down, how much value is Bitcoin going to have once this entire operation gets shut down?
The whole thing would make me very nervous.
But I just wanted to say, in answer to your question, how they deal with Citizens United is prosecutions. You know, it's going after people's money, and the fact that people are having to defend themselves.
Let's see. I have here. Could you read on Carly Russell, the young woman who was missing for 2 days and reappeared? Is this a hoax created by her, or what happened? It's quite a question there.
Yeah,
It's a hard question too.
Oh, she was the one that went. Is she the 14-year-old?
You
Oh.
know, I'm embarrassed to say I'm not entirely familiar
Me
with the story.
either. Well, we can just go ahead and check.
Maybe somebody can enlighten us better.
Yeah, yes, no, if it's a hoax. I'll check.
Shall I just ask, is this a hoax?
Yeah.
Okay. So is this a hoax? Carly Russell, is this a hoax? Okay, I'm getting no again. I'm getting.
I don't know the details, but there's something about the truth coming out, truth of the church or something like that. I don't know. So
Yeah. I just asked if it was a hoax created by her. I got a no on that. But then there's a lot, I'm getting there's a lot of elements here. It's like this is a multi-tiered question, even.
oh, she was a nursing student who went missing and then reappeared, evidently. Is that correct?
I don't know. I'm looking here to see. Let me see if somebody has chimed in for us. I'm sorry, I don't know more about this myself.
Well, it's weird. It might be somebody associated with the school. That's what's kind of weird about it. If it is, because I'll tell you why, because
Okay, pardon me. She was the one who went to help a toddler on the highway. Another person said here, no, she is a nursing student. That's all the information that's coming in right now.
there's something here about the institution. So could be that somebody, maybe she attracted somebody, got obsessed with her at her institution, and it could be a classmate, to be honest with you, just because somebody confused over the issue, and this could be a nurse's or higher education. So that would lead me to think the person was associated with the school in some
Here we
capacity.
are. Pardon me, please. She called a relative and said that she stopped to help a toddler on a highway, and then she screamed and disappeared.
Have they found her yet?
I don't know. I don't know.
A toddler?
2 days later, she walked up to her house. Wait.
Wow,
Yes,
how strange.
walked up
Yeah,
to-
so what's weird is this association here.
they have found her. Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's a hoax.
Yeah, I was getting a no on that.
And it looked like somebody who may have somehow known her in some capacity.
Yeah. Yeah, I was getting a strong no on that.
That's so creepy. That happens so often in schools and things where people become obsessed and fixated, and I don't know, with students. It's just really scary. Yeah. So Debbie was mentioning the fact that Michigan, there were several fake electors. Did you hear about this?
I heard about-
I think they got convicted today. Do you
Well,
know anything about that?
Yeah, because the target letter was announced earlier this morning, and then I think it was here, California. It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I got a news bulletin about Michigan. The Michigan Attorney General is putting federal charges against 16 of these electors. The electors that, of course, that go to the Electoral College, and
Oh, okay.
it's looking like it was a plot to sway the election through the Electoral College to Trump. And so this was just the state of Michigan. We don't even know about the other states because I understand it's a total of like 7 or 8 swing states that are in question here. And this could very well be tied into what the target letter is for Trump. Maybe we're getting the first clues of this. Let's see, I'm just looking here. Michigan indicts 16 Michigan GOP fake electors. Yes, fake electors. And we don't even know about the other states yet. I'm just here. Someone said, I hope Wisconsin takes note of Michigan and charges the fake electors here.
Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a look?
Yes, let's take a look.
Will they be charged?
Charged. With these fake electors. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. I think I'm getting yes. There's going to be a lot of people being charged here. This is just the beginning of it.
You should see these cards.
What are you getting? Which one? Charges. Yeah, I'm getting that too.
It's gonna go back to money though too. This movement was bankrolled by the Heritage Foundation, the Freedom Caucus people, and their money is being linked back to Russia and now possibly China. They traced some. I think it was it. There were some funds that were traced back to China, and then you have Gao Wei, and that's getting linked back to Steve Bannon, the Chinese businessman that wants to be emperor of China.
I'm just sensing that we're just seeing the tip of this. This is going to be huge in the days as more states come forward. And here's a comment from Julie: the Electoral College must go away. I agree. No one rides in a buggy and horse anymore.
That's right.
Yes, I agree with you. Oh my God. But that just popped up at 2:00 today, and I think I even sent you a text saying this is like a big piece of the puzzle that's giving us a hint of what's going to be happening with Trump, and I'm sure that's what this is all about.
Yeah, I have the FBI is strong. This is the FBI's card, so yes, they will be prosecuted. Before I forget, since we are at the halfway mark, I just wanted to give a shout out again, gratitude to the amazing Debbie Brady. She designed all the merch. I'm going to get you a t-shirt, my friend.
Please.
We got to get you we got to get you all set up. I've got like 3 or 4 of these in different colors.
I want my coffee mug.
But yes, my alien, I've got an alien. Well, we have a lot of designs from Debbie, so this is a great way. And we do pay our guests. So this is one wonderful way that we raise money so that we can keep you here forever, and you'll never go home ever, ever, ever. You'll stay with us.
I just got a comment here from Judith. Arizona, the Attorney General has begun investigations into fake electors there.
We've only just begun.
We're talking at least 7 or 8 swing states here.
What? What was that?
I'm sorry.
What was the question? Can you believe that we're getting paid to do what we used to get into trouble for? Is this not awesome?
Karmic justice, Whimsy.
This is karmic justice. I know. This is totally the day will come. That's what we that's the message we leave for. The Earth Bar on Santa Monica Boulevard in King. We love you guys. Please feel free we'll give you free advertising. If you want to go see stars drinking smoothies, go to the Earth Bar.
Yeah.
On Santa, we'll give you some free advertising where we used to work. It's a great place. Go check out their smoothies.
Okay.
They can have the Slim Berry.
Can you hear me okay? Somebody said my sound is too low.
Your sound is a little low, but
I just got this new clip-on mic, and I'm still trying to figure it out.
Did you turn it up? Did you turn it up?
There's nothing on here to turn up.
What about your input on your computer? Did you raise it? If you go to settings on input and you increase the input, just check to make sure it's at least slightly above 50%.
Okay, I did everything I can do, so I'll just have to talk loud.
That was pretty good. That sounded pretty good.
Is that pretty good? Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry about that.
But you can get one of these on Amazon for like $50-$60.
I got mine for a lot less. Let me see here. Wisconsin, Georgia, Michigan, and Arizona fake electors all in. Oh, asking. It's a question. Will the fake electors from Wisconsin, Georgia, Michigan, Arizona be indicted? I think did we cover that?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Question, states such as Wisconsin, Georgia, Michigan, and Arizona, will fake electors there be indicted?
Okay, let's take a look. Thank you, Buddha Lion.
Yes, someone just said we just covered that. That's what I thought also. But did you cover all of that when we did the reading about there being?
No, we just did Michigan.
Okay.
They're saying, what about Arizona and the other states? Yes, look at that.
Yeah.
Jail.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's as someone said earlier, you don't have to be a psychic for some of these things. They're just so obvious.
Some of them are already in jail based on this. Some of them have already been, some of the people that were involved are already arrested. This is Arizona. I know they've still got people awaiting charges.
Yeah, Arizona.
I mean, awaiting.
Yeah.
It's finished. Wow, look at that. That is bad news. Some people are going to get very long sentences. Four of Swords over a Nine of Wands. That can't be good news. Oh, wow. I don't think with a card like that, they might not even be eligible for pardon. I mean, I don't know what kind of charges. Is that a form of being a traitor? It's an attempt
that's a
to
good
steal
question.
an election. I know that.
Yeah, definitely stealing an election. I don't know if that would fall under treason. That's the correct way of saying it for being a traitor. Treason. I mean, it certainly seems that way to me. I don't know. It's not good for these people, and as it should not be good for these people. This is immoral. Trying to overthrow an election. An election is sacred.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I have a comment here. Be grateful. It sure felt like treason. Yes, I agree with that. I do.
Debbie Brady was saying that 7 key states are going to create, attempted to submit fraudulent certificates. They falsely asserted that Trump had won the election. Wow, that's very scary. That's like a banana republic. You have and what's scary is that the people involved think that God is on their side. It's getting linked back to those right-wing extreme religious groups.
To me, that is just the ultimate in ego. To assume God is on my side and not on your side. It's disgusting. But I'm just looking at the comments here. GOP is throwing money at Ted Cruz. They are afraid he will lose the two strong Democratic candidates. Will he keep his seat in 2024, or will Ted get caught up in? I'm trying to say it's J6 Net. That's the question right there.
Well, I think they want to know if Ted Cruz is going to get linked back, and is it going to, what's the future of Ted Cruz? Positive, negative. Is this guy going to have a future? See, he and Lindsey Graham both have been acting so weird around Trump.
Oh,
I mean,
that's an understatement.
Do you think they're compromised? Do you think there's some secret? And if so, what do you think the secret is?
Oh, I just saw the mayor of Wyoming has been indicted for the fake electors also.
Just now?
That's a comment from Crone Wisdom Space Monkey. The mayor of Wyoming has been indicted for fake electors too.
Gee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in answer to the question about Ted Cruz, he's in trouble. 7 of Wands is to defend your position. And there's something here where lovers, they say that he has been with prostitutes, which to me, adult prostitutes, by the way, consenting adults, which to me is like, who cares? But I guess that's the thing with Ted Cruz. Oh my God, like him and Bobert got into the business.
Yeah, I think it's more about the hypocrisy. He tries to purport himself to be this fundamentalist Christian, blah, 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 playing to his base. Yeah, I agree with you. Who cares about the prostitutes? To me, it's the lying. It's the hypocrisy behind it.
Right. So
you're lying, Ted Cruz.
Right. So he's defending himself, and then there's lovers around him to the whole world. And then he's got this expose coming out. The Sun is to sanitize. So I think it's already come out about Bobert having a past where she was a call girl, and evidently that's how Ted Cruz met her, I believe. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. I'm just looking here. CNN has just announced that they have handed down charges against Trump's fake election. Yeah, we knew that. Time to drain the swamp of these octogenarian senators. And once in Wisconsin, Dan Kelly, attorney general, advised them and then ran for the Wisconsin State Supreme Court. Thank goodness he lost. I'm looking for the comments here. Let's see if there are more questions.
Oh, wow.
Here's a question. Where is Mark Meadows?
Yes, that is a good question. What do you think? I think he flipped.
I don't know. I can't even speculate there.
Let's find out. Did he flip? Yes or no?
To
Yeah.
roll.
Well, that's why Trump wants to know who else got a target letter. Because if they didn't get a target letter, it means they flipped. So in his mind, who else got a target letter?
Yeah. Well, that could be running through his mind. No, when I watched the national news at 3:30 today, investigative reporters could not find anyone else at this time who had gotten a target letter. But that's not to say there won't be. That certainly could be running through Trump's mind right now.
I think they flipped. I think they went to the feds before the feds went to them. By the way, I also think Don Jr. flipped. When he had that meltdown and people said they saw him outside the police station, they say that, I mean, there's evidence that he turned himself in and flipped several months ago, which is probably why he's having a breakdown because, when you've had to turn on your own parent, and it also would explain why he's not spending time with Trump right now.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Are you ready for another question?
Sure, let's go for
it. Things are heating up in the Crimea. Will Ukraine take it back?
Oh, I think we got a definite on that one, but let's do Crimea. Will Ukraine take Crimea back?
Ukraine back. Back. I'm getting something like a maybe here. I'm not getting a clear answer. It's like maybe the circumstances are not available, but what are you getting with your cards?
They take it back, and billions of dollars are poured back into Crimea, and it's returned back to the people of Ukraine. And I'll show you how I know. First off, in terms of the future of Crimea, look at the amount of money being poured in. When they confiscated all that Bitcoin and they've hundreds of billions of dollars in illegal Russian money, that money is going to go for the rebuild. Three of Pentacles is a rebuild. Ace of Pentacles is a gift of wealth, is over Crimea. The opposition, a judgment over the power. They had the power. So Russia has the power. The hopes and fears, incarceration and war. Right? So this is the current situation, is war. And then the final outcome is that Russia leaves. And the legacy, 10 of Pentacles. So the legacy, it's Ukraine, belongs to the Ukrainians. It's their legacy. So the fact that they leave and then the legacy card falls over Ukraine would tell me that they will leave. But what I always prepare people for is the economic incentive goes both ways. If Putin is gone and if Russia is economically devastated due to this behavior, would they give Russia economic incentive to leave Crimea? And it's looking like it's possible that they could if they were working with new leadership in Russia.
Do you have a time frame on this? How long you think this is all going to unfold?
Now, I mean, I don't even know where, to be honest with you, I don't even know where Putin's getting his money to keep the war effort. I mean, one of the things when we went into the remotes is that he didn't have any money to keep the war going. That was why they couldn't pay Wagner forces, which is why a couple months ago we said, oh, they're going to fire Wagner. The money is not there. They fired Wagner. So now they're scrambling just to have enough money and weapons, etc., to keep the war going.
Yeah. Let's see. Did we ask where is Mark Meadows? Where's Mark Meadows?
Mark Meadows flipped.
Yeah, that's it. We asked
that's
that.
What it, yeah, before.
Yeah, I'm having Joel here is asking witness protection program for Meadows. Could there be such a thing? I'm just looking through other questions.
I still think he's going to have to go to jail. I mean, Michael Cohen didn't get witness protection. He went to prison and he pled guilty to a lesser sentence. And I think that that's precisely what's going to happen. I think that all these people are trying to plead to a lesser sentence. And that's why they didn't get a target letter. And I think that Trump knows that. If they didn't get a target letter, it's because they've already made a deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. And so there's a lot of heat on Trump to come in and confess to a lesser crime and avoid a trial with Jack Smith. they're still willing to make a deal with him because there are issues far bigger than Trump, like this entire network. Oh, by the way, there's an earthquake happening. My ear is going off, my left ear.
They're in Portland. You're having an earthquake.
No, I mean I can hear when an earthquake's going to happen, but it's coming from over there. So I'm wondering, it's coming out of my left ear.
Where do you think this is?
Oh, the ocean. Oh, the Pacific is over this way. So the Pacific. Why do I keep thinking the Pacific is over here? The Pacific is over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an earthquake over the Pacific. When I get a sharp ring, you know, a certain percentage of people can hear earthquakes. I can hear them. So there's a really strong one coming off the Pacific right now.
You have some tsunamis to look forward to then. It's over.
Yeah. So we probably in the next day or two we might hear earthquakes.
I'm just looking at the questions. I hope I'm not missing people here. Will the Kerch Bridge be destroyed?
Oh yeah, you heard about them bombing it, right?
Yes. Joel is asking if it's going to be destroyed. Just making sure I'm getting everybody's questions here. Will the Kerch Bridge be destroyed? Will the Kerch Bridge be destroyed? Bridge be destroyed. Bridge. I'm getting kind of a no.
Russia will leave. They have an economic incentive to leave.
I'm getting this nebulous in between. Yeah. There was nothing clear.
So before we leave today, a lot of people wanted to just close with a couple quick questions about Hollywood. We've got about 5-10 minutes left.
Okay.
If you had any spooky Hollywood stories, and if so,
spooky Hollywood
there's actually the biggest question for you is because you do connect with certain spirits. When was the first time you connected with Lucille Ball, and what was it like? What did she say? That was one of the questions I received.
Back in 1989, she died. I believe it was April 26th, 1989. It was Carol Burnett's birthday. Lucy was very heavy in my heart, very much in my mind, and I remember this distinctly. It was a Saturday night, so I think it was like maybe 3 nights later. I'd have to look at my calendar, but I think it was about 3 nights later. It was Saturday. You know how you can feel someone's energy in the room? When you have your back turned, like a loved one, they're behind you. You can feel their laughter. You can feel their voice. That's the best way I can always describe it for anyone who's ever felt a spirit's presence. There's no tangible way of explaining it other than say, I just knew Lucille Ball was in the room with me. And she was trying to comfort me, like basically, Chuck, get over yourself. It's fine. It was my time. It's cool here. I hear that a lot, actually. My mother, when she died, came to me the next day, basically saying, don't be sad for me. I'm happy. I'm free. That's basically what I was getting. But I was getting a great feeling of warmth, a great feeling of love and nurturing. And it was the same kind of nurturing that I always felt as a child. When I would watch the Lucy show, when I would watch I Love Lucy, I know that energy very well. I use it when I'm doing my artwork. So that's what I was feeling in the room. And then that night, she came to me vividly in a dream. And she was waltzing with me. We were dancing. And she was just looking me in the eye, those beautiful blue eyes, and smiling. And I think the dream was fairly brief, but it was just enough to her to let me know that she was in my presence and she was going to be with me and she was going to be guiding me. So that was the first time. I wasn't doing spirit writing in those days. I was just sensing her presence. And she started to use a code with me to let me know she was around. And I would just say, Lucy, show me red. Let's let red become dominant. Show me a red object. And I would just like turn my head and boom, there it would be. And I could always knew it was her just saying, I'm here, I'm around. I was having a lot of dreams with her. And again, it was just basically her coming in to say hello, everything's great. It wasn't anything pertinent until that time I was writing. I've told the story before. I don't know if you want me to tell it again, but I think it's one of the most dramatic Lucille Ball stories I have. I was helping my friend Bart Andrews on a new book. Bart Andrews wrote the I Love Lucy book many years ago. It was a major bestseller in that it stayed in print, I think, for about 30 years. And anyway, I was helping him put a sequel together. Bart had a stroke, and it was difficult for him to write. And I was working on this whole section about her step grandmother. And her step grandmother was extremely strict with Lucy. When Lucy was like 7 or 8 years old, she would make her wash dishes over and over until the dishes were just perfect. She'd make her sweep the floor over and over until it was perfect. And in my naivete, I thought that was rather severe. I thought it sounded like something out of a Dickens novel, and I was writing about how cold and cruel Lucy's grandmother was, step-grandmother, I should say. And my computer crashed. Remember those days back in the 80s when our computers would crash and we would lose everything?
Oh my God, yes.
I lost
Nightmare.
Several hours of writing. Everything disappeared off my computer. I was so angry and I was so upset, and there was nothing I could do to retrieve it. And I went to sleep that night, and it was about 3 in the morning. And the reason I know this is because that's when I bolted awake. About 3 in the morning, Lucy was pissed, and she was like that, looking right in my eyes. And she said, "Look here, Buster, I loved my step grandmother Peterson. I loved that lady, and I don't like what you wrote about her." And then she proceeded to say she was showing me that she loved me because she wanted to teach me to do things right and to get them perfect. And if you know anything about Lucy, that habit stayed with her whole life, that perfectionism. When she was rehearsing her show, how she would make actors do things over and over and over until they were perfect. She once had to do this thing where she had to pop a paper bag, and she spent 3 hours finding the perfect paper bag to pop. And she was saying to me that her grandmother instilled that into her. And then Lucy said, "Well, everybody said I was a bitch because I was hard on people. Why didn't people understand? I loved them. I wanted the best for people." And that's what her grandmother was doing, showing
Yeah, so her strictness was a way of saying, I love you. I want you to be your best.
Exactly. Well, anyway, that dream bolted. I just bolted awake. I was like shaking. If you've ever had a dream that intense and that real. And the next day, I was walking through Old Town Pasadena, and I couldn't get that dream out of my mind. And I just said out loud, "Lucy, if that was really you in that dream, I want you to give me a sign right now." And I swear to God this happened. I turned my head, and there in a store window was a great big I Love Lucy pillow. So anyway, that's how she communicated with me in the beginning.
That's very cool. Thank you for sharing.
Hope we have
I think I think it's been fun. I think we've had a lot of fun. Again, please check out the merch if you haven't had a chance to do so yet. It really supports the channel. Also, memberships. If you haven't had a chance to be a member, memberships are another great way for us to support the channel, the people that have come to work with the channel. Whether it's a fairy and an angel at $2.99, we get together for private readings on Saturdays, or if you become an elder and an empath and learn HCRV, or even better, a benefactor, $9.99 a month, and then you get to talk with me once a month, which is also really cool. And also feel free to check out readings, 5-minute readings through Wizio. I should set you up with Wizio so you can offer readings.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I think you would really enjoy it, and it would be a great way for you to connect with the audience.
Love connecting
through Wizio. So yeah, it's like $25-$30, and then you pre-tape and what your impressions are, and you send it. It's a very affordable way for people to ask for questions, and it's a really nice thing to do.
I think it is.
So what do you think? Should we all set up a Wizio? Say yes for Chuck. Absolutely. See. Yeah. All right.
Time for any more questions, or do we need to?
Sure. Do you have any more questions for me
I have a
before we close?
Judith, will the grain situation out of Ukraine work out? Let's see. Many people will suffer in third world countries. Will the grain situation work out of Ukraine?
Okay, let's take a look.
Situation. Out. What situation? Out. Situation.
It had to do with them losing the ports and losing importing and exporting and trade, and they lost the money from that port, and it's the fact that they're angry that they lost the Odessa port. I mean, you I don't know if you watched the show the first 5 years when I was talking a lot with Putin. I remember, was I crying on your shoulder about Putin?
You were.
Oh my
You're
God.
empath, Whimsy. Such an empath.
Um, yeah, it's going to be fine. But look at
No.
this, the
'Cause I was-
hammer and sickle, death. I mean,
Oh,
it's just so destructive right now.
yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, we're going to be okay.
I was getting a yes, but with the pendulum, you can only ask yes or no questions. I needed you to be more specific with that.
Well, you can get yes or no, and then at that point, what I always tell intuitives to do is get the yes, and then from the yes, let the answer flow, and then you usually get more information because a pendulum is just a starting point for a medium. It'll help center you, and yes, and then from there, more stuff will come, and that's kind of how because we use the pendulum in HCRV. In fact, the first fetish object we teach in HCRV is the pendulum, so it's important.
Yeah.
I think we're done. I think
Are
we're
we
done.
done?
Stay with me. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank you,
joining
everybody.
us.
You are
Um,
wonderful. I've been
yeah.
reading so many sweet things people are saying, and I'm just.
Do I look green today? Do I look green?
No,
I was playing with my makeup tone, and I think I went a little green.
I don't think you look great. You look.
Thank you, Debbie. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you, everybody who helped moderate today as well. Joel, if Geocosmic is around, if Melanie Harmon, all the other supporters, I don't know if they're all here, but thank you. Thank you. We will see you next time. And I think we end the stream here.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, everyone.